Um, okay, so it's frustrating when looking at uh, these profiles on these online dating sites. Um, because for being you're looking for um, you want to you if for ideally you want to if you want to get involved with someone, you want them to agree with some if there's something that you feel is important, you want them to ideally you want them to also feel that what you feel is important. You want them to feel that's important too. So that's the best thing. Because otherwise there's conflict. But yeah, so my compromise, I suppose, is it's like a level of desperation because there's not very many out there. There's not very many people out there that don't eat meat. There's too many people that eat meat. So one strategy, I suppose, is to uh, for a vegan is to date an omnivore, but then expose the omnivore to things that the vegan was exposed to try to encourage or convince them of the vegan way of thinking, like showing documentaries or just having conversation, make trying to find a way of establishing the connection of where the food is coming from, that it was a living animal and that did not deserve to die because it's not necessary. Uh, so that's one thing with the online dating frustration. Um, because the best thing to do for someone who is vegan is to find another vegan, but most people are not vegan, so you have to make exceptions. But for someone who's taking an active role in going out there and fishing or hunting, it's kind of hard to reach that person because they're at like an advanced stage of disconnect. They have no compassion. It's what it seems like. They might have compassion for their pets, but they don't have any compassion for fish or if they hunt deer, which doesn't make sense because they're all animals. Just because you decide to eat this animal, it doesn't mean they can't feel the pain that you're inflicting on them. Like, all you gotta do is have some fucking empathy, really. How would you like to experience what you are inflicting on the animal? When it comes to fishing, how would you like it if somebody put a hook through your mouth? You wouldn't enjoy that, would you? And they're living in water, they breathe in water. They get pulled out of the water, they're suffocating. It's like if you had your oxygen taken away from you, you'd have trouble breathing, right? So you get a hook through your mouth, and then you're suffocating. That's suffering. How are these women that are fishing? How are they not making the connection? How is that? Why don't you care that you're causing this suffering on these animals? It's very frustrating. It's very frustrating that you have to explain this. That you have to explain empathy. So that's one frustration with online dating. And the other thing is, um, you don't um, you don't know how other people are judging you. So if you don't meet certain standards, they're not even gonna talk to you at all, is what it seems. Because I don't know, it seems like it's possibly like a class thing. Like even for me, like um, if I see someone that has this really high level of education, and I know I don't have a really high level of education, like I'm a college dropout, so that's all as far as I went. So if I see, like, I look at some profiles and there's this woman on here that she's attractive, but then I look at her level of education, she's got like a master's degree. I'm thinking, why would a woman with a master's degree want anything to do with a guy who's a college dropout? So that there's one frustration there. Uh, and so I don't drive. So some thinking, I think some ways, some way that of these women are thinking. Probably I'm making an assumption, but they're probably thinking, oh, this guy doesn't have a car. He must be a loser. I'm not even going to talk to him. So that might be a reason why, because I don't have a car, so maybe that's why I don't get a lot of responses. But so I ride a bike, but I feel like not everybody has a car. There must be some women out there that don't drive. Seems like most people drive though. So there's another frustration, and I don't smoke or drink or do drugs, and a lot of people do that. So I feel like if I don't, maybe that's one thing. Like they don't have that to relate to. Like, oh, he doesn't drink and smoke or do drugs either. Well, I guess I'm not interested because I need to have that in common. But those are unhealthy things to do, in my opinion. And then kids. There's a lot of single mothers out there on these dating sites. Um, I don't like kids. Uh, I did get a couple messages um, that I see that they have kids, and I have to tell them I don't like kids, and then that ends it right there. Because like they even say in their profile, must like kids, which I think is strange. I can't relate to people that like kids. Like, what what is there to like? The ones that I've seen are just obnoxious. So I don't agree with that as being a necessity. That's something that, like, unless they're looking for like a father figure, like why do you need someone that likes kids? I'm not gonna like beat him up or anything. I just don't want to be around him. That's all. So that's another frustration with online dating.